Long ago, when the hills of Igbo land echoed with the laughter of spirits, and the harmattan winds carried whispers of ancient magic, there lived a princess named Adora. She was the daughter of the great Obi Okonkwo, ruler of the prosperous Umoji kingdom. Princess Adora was said to be touched by the divine. Her beauty was breathtaking, her skin the color of rich earth after a gentle rain, her eyes like the bright stars that dotted the night sky, and her laughter as melodious as the singing of weaver birds. People traveled from far and wide just to catch a glimpse of her during the day, for her presence radiated warmth and light. Yet, a strange mystery shrouded Princess Adora. Though she was seen by all during the day, no one, not even the closest of her handmaids, had ever seen her at night. As dusk painted the sky with hues of orange and purple, Adora would retreat to her private chambers and remain there until the first rays of dawn kissed the horizon. At first, the people whispered that perhaps the princess was simply fond of her sleep. Some thought she was delicate and preferred the quiet solitude of the night. But as the years passed, and Adora remained unseen after sundown, murmurs of unease began to ripple through the kingdom. The truth, however, was far more sorrowful and steeped in the forgotten justice. Years before Adora's birth, Obi Okonkwo's queen, Uloma, had unknowingly offended a powerful old woman named Nneka. Nneka, who possessed a deep connection to the spirit world, had come to the palace seeking a small kindness, but she was torn down harshly by the queen. In a moment of pride, bitter and heartbroken, Nneka in her rage laid a terrible curse upon the queen's future firstborn daughter. When Adora turned 12, the curse began to manifest. As the moon ascended each night, a terrifying transformation would grip the beautiful princess. Her smooth skin would ripple and sprout. Cause 4. Her delicate hands and feet would morph into shadow claws, and her melodious voice would become a guttural growl. Every night, until the first crow of the rooster, Princess Adora was no longer the radiant maiden everyone adored, but a creature of nightmare trapped within her own skin. Queen Uloma and Obi Okonkwo were devastated. They consulted the most renowned dibias from across the land. Elaborate rituals were performed, potent herbs were brewed, and sacrifices were offered to the gods. But none could break the cruel enchantment. Adora lived a life of agonizing duality, basking in the sun's glow and the admiration of her people during the day, only to endure a horrifying metamorphosis in the darkness. The shame and fear of her nightly form forced her into complete seclusion after sunset. Years passed in this painful circle. Adora, though cursed, retained the gentle spirit she possessed in her human form. She yearned for companionship, for someone to see beyond the monstrous exterior that claimed her at night. But the fear of revealing her secrets kept her locked away, her heart heavy with loneliness. One starless night, the weight of her isolation became very unbearable. Driven by a desperate longing for connection, Adora, in her creature form, a fearsome being with glowing eyes and sharp teeth, crept out of the palace. She moved stealthily through the shadows, avoiding the village, her heart pounding with a mixture of terror and a silver of fragile hope. She found herself near the edge of the forest, by a small moonlight stream. There she saw a young man sitting alone, his head bowed in sorrow. His name was Chinedu, a humble but kind-hearted farmer who had recently lost his family to illness. Hesitantly, Adora approached. Her monstrous form cast a long, eerie shadow. Chinedu looked up for a moment. Fear flickered in his eyes. But as he gazed at the creature before him, he saw not malice, but a deep, profound sadness etched in its glowing eyes. Instead of fleeing, Chinedu spoke softly.
You seem troubled, creature of the night. What burden do you carry?
Adora, unable to speak in her transformed state, could only whisper, a sound filled with centuries of sorrow. Night after night, Adora in her beastly form would meet Chinedu by the stream. He never flinched from her presence. He would tell her stories of his life, of his lost loved ones, and of his hope for the future. He would sing melancholic songs, his voice filled with a gentle empathy that suited the tormented spirit within her. Chinedu saw past the frightening exterior. He saw the loneliness in her eyes, the unspoken pain in her movements. He saw a creature trapped and yearning for solace. Slowly, inexplicably, Chinedu found himself drawn to this mysterious being. He admired the way she would listen intently, the soft rumble that sometimes escaped her chest when he spoke of kindness and love. One night, as the first hint of dawn painted the sky, Chinedu reached out and gently placed his hand on the creature's coarse fur. "Whatever you are," he said, his voice filled with genuine affection.
You are not evil, and I do not fear you. In fact,
He confessed, his gaze steady and true.
I feel a strange connection to you, and I believe indeed that in you I have found love.
As those words filled with pure unconditional love echoed in the pre-dawn, a wave of warmth washed over Adora's monstrous form. The coarse fur receded, the sharp claws softened, and the terrifying features began to melt away. Slowly, breathtakingly, the beautiful Princess Adora reappeared, lying weak but whole in Chinedu's arms. Chinedu was greatly stunned. at the realization that the beastly friend in whom he had found love and peace was none other than the princess herself. At that point, the curse was broken. Nneka's bitter enchantment, fueled by the lack of love and understanding, had finally been shattered by Chinedu's unwavering affection and acceptance of Adora in her most vulnerable and frightening state. When the sun rose, Chinedu gently carried the princess back to the palace. The sight of Adora in her true form after so many years of mystery astonished the entire kingdom. When they heard the tale of her curse and the selfless love of the humble farmer who broke it, their fear returned to awe and respect. Obi Okonkwo and his wife, the Queen Uloma, were overjoyed to have their daughter back. They showered Chinedu with gratitude and recognized the depth of his love and courage. Adora and Chinedu were married, and their reign was one of compassion and understanding. Adora, having experienced the pain of being judged by her appearance, ruled with kindness and empathy, always remembering the night a humble farmer looked beyond her monstrosity and saw the princess within. And so, the tale of Princess Adora serves as a reminder that true beauty lies not in the outward appearance, but in the love and acceptance that resides in the hearts. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button and share. Bye.